Hi, my name is Ryna. COVID created a lot of stress in everybody's life for the last 2 years, and therefore a lot of people ended up having a lot of anxiety problems, stress, depression, and probably that's why nowadays more people than ever are interested in all activities related and approaches and theories related to personal and spiritual growth. I myself was always interested to find uh, remedies of emotional pain besides the tablets, because tablets are not the best solutions, as we know. And the COVID was perfect time for me to actually practice very intensively all the things that I was exploring and learning during the last 7 years. And now I want to share with you benefits that I got from each of these different techniques and methods. Hopefully this will help beginners to just find out what will work for them better. I choose whatever, whenever I was practicing each approach, each technique, I was choosing whatever was resonating with my soul, with my body more, and was focusing on that. So I ended up creating my own techniques, but unfortunately I cannot say that I invented them. I used the huge ancient experience of humanity. I was exploring how my body resonates with each of it, and according to that resonation, just choose whatever works better for each particular person or case. So the first thing I actually started to practice years ago, it was those words, that so-called words, passwords. Those are kind of magic words that if you use them in certain combination, they will let you achieve certain goals. And it sounds very ridiculous, it sounds very childish, like from fairy tale, but believe me, those things work. If I tell you examples what happened, it will take forever. I don't want to get far there, but it was the first thing. And since I always knew, since my very young childhood, I knew that there is something way more than what we're experiencing in our 3 dimension. I knew there is some magic around, but I didn't know how to access this magic. And by my nature, I'm explorer director, so whenever I have opportunity, I would always just check what's going on and see how my body responds, how it resonates with anything. So that was the first thing I started to try. There's a combination of words based on whatever you want to achieve. You change the combination. Things were happening, and once I was not alone with my daughter trying to find parking in New York, in Manhattan. Everybody know how hard it is during the day. And so I'm saying these words, and she looked at me, and she's a very open-minded girl as well, and she looked at me like I'm crazy, and she said, "What are you doing, so silly things? You better go and learn about Wim Hof. That's where magic is." So that was the first time I actually heard about Wim Hof, and I'm grateful to my goal until today. And that was it. I found that magic door. Really, it was a sensation, very clear, obvious sensation. So as many of you already heard, I'm sure, his technique is combination of certain way of breathing with cold water. Rice, that's why his nickname is Iceman. So I started to breathe, and I guess it was second day. I didn't know what to expect. I'm just, testing, experimenting, and then all of a sudden, I started to feel how every cell of my body started to just tremble and shake, and then in few seconds, or I don't know, I lost the track of time. All of a sudden, this feeling came, that all these vibrations came together and became a one huge power that started to lift away from my body. That was very unexpected. Of course, I got scared, and it disappeared. It was gone. But it was very pleasant sensation. So I was absolutely sure that this is it. I found the magic door, and this is how I can enter this different dimension that I knew it exists. I was so excited, and that was the beginning of huge journey. Then cold water, the way the cold water affects our body, it's undescribable. Me and my husband, I'm lucky he's with me in all these researches. We ended up even taking a cold swim in a cold water during the winter, and I can tell that that feels way better than when you do it in the summer, because colder it is, better you feel. Well, how better? You just feel awake, boost your energy. It heals your body. I had stomach ulcer. It was gone. No, with Wim Hof, my blood pressure gone. It came back again because I did wrong things later, like after a few months. But the blood pressure was gone. It was unbelievable. So that's Wim Hof. After Wim Hof, yeah, I kind of felt open towards quantum field. And then what happened, I found this place that I wanted to study. For years and years, I was looking for a place to actually get extra education, but I didn't know what exactly I want. It was just, I didn't know what exactly, where exactly. There was too many questions. And then after Wim Hof, when I was kind of more attached to the field, more attached to myself because of this breathing, all of a sudden this information came about the so-called neurographica that combines everything that I wanted to be more involved into. It was art, it's a psychology tool working with emotions. This is a new realm of art therapy, so-called neurographica. I call it meditation on paper because it contains everything that meditation contains. You breathe through all the process as you work with your emotions, with your thoughts, and you end up being in more positive place than you started. I'm not going to talk a lot about this because you can go on my YouTube channel. The name of the YouTube channel is I See You, and see the details of me working with clients. There is a lot of edited videos. So as you see, this was just on paper. This is lamp I designed. This is vase I bought, white stone vase, and I made it on this. Like this was my idea to, use on or on whatever I want to. At this point, I'm actually doing neurographica on my car. My problem is to find a paint that will actually survive under the sun and under the rain. That's the hardest challenge. It's not ready yet, but it's in process. So one more amazing technique. I used this for my grandson, who was only 4 years old back then. He was very stressed out because of the toy issue. He was arguing with his brother. So I asked him to just sit and draw his anger, and it was perfect. The boy who cannot sit still for 5 minutes. He was working, doing neurographica, working with this anger for 30 minutes. And then after that, whenever a stressful situation would appear, he would ask his mom, like, where's grandma? I want to talk to grandma, because he really enjoyed it. And he even offered his mom to draw her anger and her frustration, so that will go away. So this is for any age, and I usually joke and I say from 0 to 100. And well, it's not it's true. It's not a joke. As you know, things, a chain effect happens. So I'm already in this field. I'm already interested in all this. Then Dr. Joe Dispenza comes up with his books, and after I read his book, Power Subconscious and How to Become Supernatural, that was revolution for my mind, for my consciousness. I understood more about quantum field, and literally right after I finished the book, I was in his week retreat in Cancun, which was miracle by itself, because all of a sudden it kicks my mind. Let's check what's going on. It's COVID. Nobody does anything. Everything locked. And then it kicked my mind. Let's see if Joe Dispenza still does his retreats, which inside I don't believe he does. And then I'm seeing there is event, and literally 10 days before retreat, I was able to get tickets, which was miracle itself. And what I learned during the retreat, I learned a few huge things. First of all, I finally learned how to master my mind, my thoughts. That was the hardest thing during meditation. I never was able to calm down my thoughts. And actually, the Wim Hof was the biggest help when I was breathing certain way. My mind was calming down, but in general, I had difficulties with this. So I learned how to master my own body, my own brain. Once I was so proud, I was sitting 4 hours and meditating. I didn't let my body to disturb me at all. So that was my biggest victory. Next thing, meditation becomes so normal, big part of your life that after that, I started to meditate every day, and it was huge victory. Now, if I don't meditate even one day, I feel like I kind of lost myself. I'm uncomfortable. So I met a lot of people that was amazing, very extraordinary. It's a huge thing. I became friends, very close friends with a few of them. I got proof of huge power of mind movie when you connect your thoughts and your emotions together, how amazingly and how magically it makes your wishes come true. Now, so this is how I look after 4 or 5 hours. It happened at 1 p.m. and now it's 6 p.m. Well, 5 hours. Getting back, eyes are still swollen, eyelids. The lip is slowly getting back to normal. See that big spot like hanging there. That part of the stomach is actually so swollen that it hangs down. So I came to a conclusion that probably meditation saved my life, because this was swollen, but here nothing was really choking me because I was breathing. Now I can tell for sure that if not that breathing, because I didn't go to the doctors, I didn't call 911. I just wanted to experiment and see what's happening. So now after 6 hours, when I'm checking how it feels, checking the condition of my body, and seeing this huge blister on my stomach, which is very itchy, not painful, but very itchy. So it seems like the breathing was the lifesaver moment. Otherwise, I don't see any logic in the allergy symptoms getting on my lip, on my eye, which is still there, but did not anyhow affect my breathing. So I believe it was meditation. That's my conclusion. Next thing, I know it will sound very strange, but the COVID for me became a life-death experience that changes a lot of people's view and life philosophy. So I experienced COVID. It was a very severe case. And during COVID, what I learned, which happens to a lot of people who experience conditions close to death, I learned that I'm not afraid of death. I kind of knew it before, but I wasn't sure. So when I was really in that condition, I realized that I'm not really afraid of death. So it was very liberating experience. What else happened? I realized, it's a long story, I'm not going to tell into all details. If you're interested, you can go on my YouTube channel, I See You, and see a video. Actually, I was videotaping myself during this period, at the beginning, middle, at the end. So if you're interested, you can go and see more details there. But one of the things, somehow I started to sense the time as one big idea of presence. It wasn't past or present and future. Past, present, and future became one, and I was very clearly sensing it. That also was very liberating. Now, next thing that was very liberating, I had this absolute 100% confidence about not ever having financial problems, even though I have all the reasons to worry, because I don't have millions in my bank account. But this sense of being confident and not worrying about any finances was very beautiful. It stayed with me for quite a long time. Even the sensation of unity of the time stayed with me about a month or two after COVID. Then it slowly dissolved. So that was huge. Then I was introduced to breath work, and I was experimenting again and seeing how my body resonates to this. It was amazing way of getting rid of all the accumulated resistance inside of body for years and years. I was crying my heart out at the end. Then I got a proof, huge, clear, magnificent proof of how energy comes first. Because when I was breathing, of course, a coach warned us that we can, feel very strange things in our body. So as I'm breathing, I have feeling like my hand is in this condition. And since, it's interesting for me, so I'm opening my eyes, checking what's going on, and my hands are still normal. And it was very strange to me to realize that. And why am I feeling like it's in different shape? Guess what? After 2-3 minutes, not longer than that, I'm checking and my hands are already closed. So ta-da, that's the huge proof of energy first. So before physically it got to this condition, my energy was already changed. And I don't need any bigger proof of, everything controls by energy. When we get sick, our energy changes first, then we get sick, or we get better. If we want to heal ourselves, then we have to change the energy, we need to change the emotion. It was a huge discovery for me. And I discovered that the period of happiest period of my life is actually a period when I would never guess unless I did the breath work. And that was right on point. It was a period of my teenager life. Even though I always thought that, I'm happier now, I live my dream life at this point, but whatever is pressure for me, whatever is very important for me, I had all that in that period of my life. There was a lot of love, there was a family connection, there was very open intuition and openness towards everything in a life, and intuition was open so strongly that I was actually sensing my future that I have now. Back then I was seeing the life that I'm going to live. I'm living my dream at this point. And back then I was seeing that. So that was a big surprise. And when you have that to catch from, you have this sensation of happiness, it's very easy to pass that sensation towards your future. It's very helpful too. That was one of the biggest things I discovered. Next thing is Dr. Sumerder's energy healing. That was the first experience that made me really feel how I'm radiating energy. When I learned how to open my main energy channel, the breathing techniques that help you to open the channels and get rid of the stress and get rid of all the resistance inside of body, then the sensation of the radiation came to me. I was actually sensing how each time after meditation, I was radiating energy. I was becoming one with the field. Not for a long time, unfortunately, for short, but still, that was the first time I had this sensation. And then next thing I learned was radical forgiveness, how things connected. Because, we learn quite often, we hear quite often from the religious people, from Bible, from philosophers, that we need to be grateful to people who hurt ourselves, who put us down, and they're our bigger teachers. But there is no explanation, and it's not easy to understand how possible. Why should I be grateful to someone that just puts me down? And that book was amazingly clear about how these things works on a quantum field, on the field of energy, level of energy, and everything became so clear. And then there was a questionnaire how to practice radical forgiveness. I learned all of a sudden the things that seemed to me was happening by chance, but it was kind of repeatedly happening in my life. The way I was treating people, the way People would treat me totally different. People will just treat me similarly from time to time, and like, you have a question, why is this happening? Boom, it just you get this insight, you understand how this whole chain works together. And the questionnaire of radical forgiveness was really good tool to digest this new information, and made me feel very strong and very confident about, I know what I'm doing, and I will be absolutely able to achieve what I want to achieve. And this is my experience in Hawaii. It was one of my biggest dreams to ever get to Hawaii and find someone who can help me to go through Ho'oponopono ritual. And I was lucky enough to find this beautiful woman with name Alalani. The ritual was beautiful. First it was with my husband, and then she did separate with me. And after that, I started to see my own biofield, and it was a new thing that I'm working with now, going through learning how to do healing with a group of healers. That's pretty much it. With each technique, I actually have a list of whatever happening, because miracle happens, you get excited, and then you forget about it. So I'm taking notes of each unusual things, miracle things happening. So I have all this list, which I'm going to discuss in my coming later videos. At this video, I just wanted to give the main benefits that I learned with each technique, and hopefully this will be helpful for the beginners who want to start practicing those kind of approaches. Thank you for watching, and if you like the video, please don't forget to subscribe.